Hi, I'm Old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Well, this is just a short video and kind of an update for you guys. I found my hearing aid, as you saw in the last video, and that was a nice thing. Kind of embarrassing finding it on the couch, but I was tickled to not have to deal with that. Well, after getting that done, I got some more good news. On Monday, I found something else on my schedule. The hospital called and asked if I could move up a scheduled surgery on my finger. About 2 years ago, I stuck a large chunk of wood into the right pad of my little finger on my left hand. Yeah, this one. Rather than leave it hanging out, I grabbed a hold of the 6 inches long wooden spear and pulled it free from my finger. What you do? I went into the house, washed my hands, put on some antiseptic on the small puncture wound, and covered it with a Band-Aid. Just like this one now. Within a couple of days, it had healed over and was forgotten. About 6 months ago, I noticed an odd callous spot on my left hand's little finger. Yeah, this one. When I pushed on it, I could feel a poking sensation on the inside of the skin on the opposite side of the finger. Now, you want to talk about something that feels weird. Having something poke on the other side when you touch one side of your finger and you have feels like a little connection to the other side. Yeah, that was something different. There was a chunk of wood embedded in my finger. Been there for a year. Had noticed. I was surprised. Usually small splinters are either absorbed or expelled from my skin. This one just stayed. I tried removing it, but it was too far below the surface for DIY surgery. My doctor set up an appointment with Bronson Hospital's hand surgery department, and I expected to have the splinter removed in December. Well, the early surgery was a success. The half-inch long splinter was removed, but my surgeon said no work until Friday. I'm able to drive and do small chores, but nothing over 20 pounds, just like after the eye surgery. Well, so obviously no video this week, other than you're getting this one, because I decided that I wasn't going to just sit here quietly waiting for things to happen. It's not my way of doing things. But my finger is actually healed up again. But following doctor's orders, no shop work until Friday. I might go out there and look around a little bit, but I can't actually lift anything. So kind of limits what I can do. So that's the story of the little splinter that could. When the surgeon showed it to me, it was quite a large piece of wood to have stuck in your little finger. It was long enough it actually touched both sides of my finger. So anyways, if you get a splinter, I can't tell you what to do because, I've had splinters hundreds of times and always just either small ones and you use a pair of tweezers to pluck it out and then bandage it over and heal up, or large enough that you could grab it with your finger or fingers and pull it free. And I've never had one. Well, I take that back. Right here in my arm, there's a scar. Yep, right there. Back when I first bought my Troy-Bilt tractor, the 17-horse tractor lawnmower that I'm using now, it came with a wooden pallet, actually crate around that thing. So I had it in the workshop because I bought it at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Yeah, Blaine's Farm and Fleet. That's the name of the company. And they loaded it onto my truck the day that we had the COVID shutdown. So that was about 5 years ago. And I came home with the tractor, and since I couldn't go anywhere and nobody had told me that I couldn't be out in the workshop, I went out in the garage, which at the time was the workshop, and started taking the tractor out of the crate, got it unloaded, got it all put together, got everything running on it. And during the time that the world was coming unglued because of COVID, I was out there trying to get my lawnmower put together. Well, I got it all put together, and I had everything stacked up in the garage because it was a big crate and a bunch of stuff. And I got the yard mowed, and I got things done. I couldn't leave the neighborhood because I wasn't supposed to be outside the house. I wasn't supposed to be contacting people. But I wanted to get the lawn mowed, and I wanted to get the tractor running. I just paid $1,700 for it. I didn't want it sitting in the garage. So I left the pallet, or the crate pieces, sitting in the garage, stacked up against one wall. Well, when I put the mower in the garage, I put it in there, and it was up against the side of the lawnmower and up against the side of the welder, so I had a walkway in between the welder and the lawnmower. And as I was walking through, I ran a splinter into my arm. Same exact thing, except when I checked it, it seemed like I had a piece of wood in it. And I thought, well, I'm probably going to have to get this taken care of. And it was not bleeding, but it had something in there. I could feel a bump under the skin. So I went to prompt care. That was back before we had a sustained relationship with Bronson Hospital, which occurred during COVID, because Borges Hospital was pretty much closed down because of COVID, because, first thing you want to do whenever there's a panic and what do they call that, pandemic, is shut down all the hospitals, because Lord knows we can't have those open. So, all right, I went down to prompt care, which was still open. Don't know why, because prompt care was acting as a hospital, and they closed the hospitals where all the doctors were, but they let the prompt care where the guy, well, actually 2 people behind the counter and one guy doing the business of being a doctor, more like a physician's assistant. But be that as it may, I said, okay, I've got this hole in my hand or my arm. What do I do? And he said, well, I'm going to have to take out that bump that's in your arm. So he cut a hole in my arm, made the scar a lot bigger, and he looked around in there. He couldn't find anything, which leads back to the one with my little finger. After that, I said, well, I had my arm cut open, and they searched around in there and couldn't find anything. They said, well, it's just scar tissue. Don't worry about it. So here we are with me with a splinter in my little finger, but I'm thinking there's nothing there because I've already played this game once. So that we've come to the end of the story that I said, okay, there's probably no splinter in my little finger, but I had to have the splinter removed, and they found a splinter in my little finger. So as I said, I can't tell you what to do. It might be a splinter in there. It might not be. It might be, I don't know, Amelia Earhart for all I know. So best thing to do is probably go see your doctor. Oh, and the first doctor said, well, that's too small. I can't do anything with it. And another one said, well, I can't do that in the office. We'll have to send you over to the hand surgeon. So just do what you think best, guys. I got no help for you. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments. You know I read them all. And in a couple of days, I'll actually have some real Sneelock stuff, not this I got broke again. Thanks for watching.
This video is not to be viewed by anyone under the age of 13 in the U.S. or 16 in the European Union without the express written permission of the parents or the legal guardians of the underage person. Such written permission must be on file at the local government entity in charge of enforcing the rules and regulations established by the FTC. Anyone violating these terms is admitting by default that they hold harmless the owners and operators of this channel. Any and all questions should be addressed to your local branch of the FTC.